Dating over 35 requires feminine energy and emotional maturity, not games, not hardness. Welcome back to day 4 of our transformation journey. I'm Dr. Nicole, and today we're talking about something I get asked about constantly: dating with feminine energy when you're over 35. Here's the thing: dating and relationships have changed, but feminine energy hasn't. The apps are different, the timeline might be different, but what attracts quality men and creates lasting relationships, that is absolutely timeless. So let's talk about what actually works when you're a grown woman who knows exactly what she wants. The first truth: most relationships fail because they start too fast. I see women over 35 who think they need to speed up the process because they're, quote, running out of time. So they're crossing boundaries, they're getting intimate on the second or third date, they're having deep emotional conversations on the first date, or they're planning futures with men that they barely know. But soft women slow it down. Slow allows you to actually see who someone is instead of who you want them to be or who you expect them to be. Slow allows emotional intimacy to build naturally. And slow allows you to stay in your feminine energy instead of rushing into masculine planning mode. When you slow down, you're not being difficult, you're actually being discerning. You're saying, you know what, I'm worth getting to know properly. This doesn't mean playing games or being cold. It means being present in each stage of getting to know someone instead of fast forwarding to the end without going through the journey. A quality man will appreciate this pace. A man who's just looking for something quick and easy, he's going to move on. And that's exactly what you want. You want to weed out the ones who aren't real candidates. Mature women don't chase. Let's clear something up. Initiating is fine, chasing is not. You can text first sometimes, you can suggest plans, you can show interest. That's not chasing, that is just participating. Chasing is when you're doing all the work, when you're always the one reaching out, always the one making plans, always the one trying to keep the connection alive. Your energy should be inviting, not pursuing. Think of it like this: you're a beautiful flower in a garden. You don't chase the bees, you bloom so beautifully that they're naturally drawn to you. This means you focus on being your most radiant, authentic self. You live your life fully. You have interests, friends, goals, and joy that exists completely independent of anybody else. When you're living in this way, you attract instead of chase. And attraction is so much more powerful than pursuit or feeling that you're not enough. Emotional maturity is the new attraction. Here's what's different about dating over 35. Emotional maturity becomes incredibly attractive. At this age, most people have been through some things. They've had relationships, they've maybe been married, they have possibly been divorced, they've experienced heartbreak, disappointment, and growth. What stands out now isn't just physical beauty or surface, superficial charm, it's the emotional consistency. You're not hot and cold, up and down, unpredictable, moody. It's about accountability. You can own your mistakes, apologize when you're wrong, and learn from your experiences. And it's about integrity. Your words match your actions, and you do what you say you're going to do. Self awareness is also key. You understand your triggers, you know your patterns, and you're actively working on yourself while fully living now. This is mature feminine energy. It's soft but stable, gentle but grounded, open but not desperate. Men over 35 who are looking for something real are drawn to this kind of emotional maturity like a magnet. Standards with softness. Now, let's talk about standards because I hear women say all the time, I need to lower my standards or I'm being too picky. But here's the truth: you can have standards without being rigid. Rigidity is what we want to get rid of. You can be soft without being desperate. Standards aren't about having a checklist of superficial requirements. Standards are about knowing what kind of treatment you accept, what kind of energy you want in your life, and what kind of partnership you're looking for. A soft woman with standards might say, I'm looking for someone who's emotionally available and ready for a committed relationship. Or, I need someone who communicates openly and honestly. Or I want a partner who's kind, respectful, and has similar values. These aren't unreasonable demands, they're actually basic requirements for a healthy relationship. The key is holding these standards with grace. You don't need to be harsh or demanding, you just need to be clear about what works for you and what doesn't. How to stay soft while dating. Finally, let's talk about some practical ways to stay in your feminine energy while dating. Don't overthink every text, every interaction, every silence. Overthinking is masculine energy. It's analyzing, strategizing, trying to control outcomes. Stay present instead. Let men lead the pace of intimacy. You can absolutely have preferences and boundaries, but let him be the one initiating the next level of connection emotionally and physically. Don't overshare trauma early. I'm not saying hide your past, but there's a difference between being authentic and trauma dumping on someone you barely know, and then you guys end up trauma bonding. Save the deep, heavy conversations for when you actually know each other. Receive compliments gracefully. When he says you look beautiful, just say thank you instead of deflecting or listing all the things that are wrong with your appearance. Don't fill every silence. Comfortable silence is feminine. You don't need to entertain him or keep conversation going constantly. Stay connected to your own life. Keep your friendships, your hobbies, and your goals. Don't disappear into the relationship or make him your whole world. Trust your intuition. If something feels off, it probably is. Your feminine intuition is incredibly accurate. Don't override it with logic or wishful thinking. Here's the mindset shift I want you to make. You're not trying to convince anyone to choose you. You're deciding who gets access to your energy, your time, and your heart. You're not auditioning for the role of girlfriend or wife. You're interviewing candidates for the role of partner. This shift changes everything. It keeps you in your power. It keeps you soft but not desperate. It keeps you open but not available to just anyone. If you're dating over 35, you're not late. You're just seasoned. You know what you want, you know what you don't want, and you know what you bring to the table. Use that wisdom and trust your feminine energy. Stay soft, stay standards driven, and stay true to yourself. If you want more real talk about feminine energy and relationships, hit the subscribe button. Tomorrow is day 5, and we're reacting to these viral Femininity is Weak videos. I have some thoughts, and you're going to want to hear them. Tell me in the comments what's your biggest dating challenge right now. I read and answer every comment. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm Dr. Nicole.